Mic check 1 2 1 2.
My sweet waifu.
Is that you? Mic check. Mic check waifu. Telly D, is that you?
This episode is thick, bro.
It's going to be a pretty juicy episode. Welcome to episode 43 of Mic Check Waifu. As always, it's brought to you by Lube Complex. Go to lubecomplex.com. As soon as this coronavirus thing is over and the stores open back up, I'm pretty sure there's going to be some new fire merch in there if you into that. It's also brought to you by Polow, Born Fly, Not King Teliano. We're your hosts today, as always. And I do want to say thank you to our Patreon supporters, Monique Williams, Connor, and D Prince. I appreciate y'all for supporting the show and producing this episode and a lot of episodes as of late. You guys have been incredible. We appreciate you. And let's get this thing rolling. So, first and foremost, before we get cracking into like the newer stuff we watch, because obviously the spring season is in full effect, I got to give everybody an update on my One Piece adventure. So last week I was saying One Piece is pretty good. It's pretty good. Not bad at all. I think I was on like, what was I? Super early into it. I can't remember.
You're in the hundreds now, though.
Yeah, I've been going. I'm at 156. I skipped an entire season's worth of filler though, so that was like from 131 to like 144, and then I picked back up into 144. But yeah, man, One Piece you can obviously tell where these other shonens got their inspiration from, because it's
been around forever.
It's been around forever. I'm still watching it in 4x3 mode. I got to the part where I'm in the 2003 era right now when it was in 2003. So it's I'm in a Sky arc, the Sky Island arc.
Oh yeah.
This arc isn't my best so far, but it just started to. They like just got their huge Sky Island bounties, and they're making their way to half of them is making their way to the island of God, where he's going to punish them or whatever for them committing these crimes and coming in without paying. So hopefully it gets better, but that's where I last left off.
That arc is so fire.
Is it fire? Because right now man.
It's just like I said.
After that crocodile arc, I'm like, man, that crocodile arc was great.
Luffy is really like when it comes to throwing hands because he loves his friends, Luffy is the GOAT of it. And that's just a fact.
It's dope, man. We got Nico Robin in the crew now, and I love her. I absolutely love Nico. It's just I'm not getting enough of her right now, and I'm craving her, just her being in it more. Her thing, she's a fucking beast. She's
in the crew now. Mm-hmm. I will tell you.
Don't even tell me anything.
I'm not gonna say anything. Spoiler. I was about to say like she will be more prominent in the show.
I don't even want to know that, because I love it, man.
Yeah, I'm glad you love it.
Yeah, it grew on me fast, because as I'm watching it, like you can see, man, fucking where Naruto got his shit from and where Black Clover try to get their shit from. Black Clover, it just makes me hate Black Clover even more, man. And I'm so sorry, y'all. I know some people out there that listen to the show love Black Clover. They like it. Mostly people who like Black Clover are reading it anyway, so keep reading Black Clover. I heard it's a decent read, and shout out to y'all for that. But the anime is just so fucking bad, especially compared to all the other shonen out there. Like, I think Black Clover is it. I don't see how you can even put this in a category with One Piece, with fucking Naruto. And I mean, to be honest, Fairy Tail is even slightly better than Black Clover to a certain point. I mean, to a certain point, because Fairy Tail is fun up until the time skip, and then time skip fucking completely, it turns into whole ass. But like, One Piece is just fucking great, man. It's great so far. And people telling me like, yeah, man, it gets good in the 400s. I'm like, bro, I'm at 156 and I'm enjoying myself. It's wild. I'm attached and shit. Like, Nami get on my fucking nerves. I'm not gonna lie. I even tweeted and said that I hope Nami get a glow up because this shit is.
She deserves it. She needs it.
She getting on my goddamn nerves, man. Always complaining about everybody, but doing some dumb shit herself. That gets annoying. It's like Vivi was the only dope girl in the show for a while, and then Nico just came through. Nico stole the show for the females, and Nami is just. I just can't wait to see her glow up. It's awful right now though. She's like the yeah, she's the worst. The beginning was cool though when she was thieving and shit, doing her thing.
When Luffy had to fight Shark Face for her.
Yeah, that shit was live, man.
That shit was hard, bro.
That shit was so live, man.
Luffy was like, hold my hat until I get back.
Yeah, when she had to fight Arlong, that shit was great. And then it was right when they got to the Grand Line, and then right when they met, when she was Miss Wednesday, when Vivi was Miss Wednesday, she became just this fucking, whoa, she's just awful. So I hope she gets better. I heard she gets better. Shout out to y'all who's been following my Twitter thread. I have a whole thread on my experience because I was saying I watched the subs and I watched the dubs. The subs suck, the dubs suck, but the dubs are better because they use all the voices from Dragon Ball Z. Like the voice of Trunks, the English version of Trunks is Sanji, which is just dope. Vegeta obviously being Zoro. I like Chopper's voice too. Chopper is like one of my favorites. And his little hiding, how he hide with his whole body out and shit, man. It's just a little shit in the show that I just enjoy. Sorry to make the big first 6 minutes of this episode about One Piece.
You're good. I actually have a question for you outside of One Piece.
What's up?
Have you read God Punch yet? The second chapter?
Not yet, man. Not yet.
Okay.
I went back and reread the first chapter. That webtoon is great, bro.
Yeah.
That shit is quality, man.
I just wanted to say, because I was thinking, give the people a chance. Let them know, hey, God Punch, Pat, Team God Punch, they just dropped the second chapter of the God Punch. And let's just talk about it next week if you want to.
Absolutely.
Just throw it in there for next week.
Sure.
We talk a little bit about it and, give our ideas and what we think about it.
I can't wait, dude. That shit is great. It's going to be a requirement for next week's episode. So if you haven't read God Punch, the webtoon series, go check it out. It's on webtoons right now. Just search God Punch. It's absolutely incredible. And follow God Punch Pat on Twitter. He's a lot of fun to follow. And let's segue into this, into what we've been watching, bro. The spring season is in full effect, man.
So I'm going to tell you right now, I watched a couple, and there are some that I think are actually pretty decent quality. Mm-hmm. And there's some I would say they can hold that.
All right, let's talk about what they can hold. Tell me what you think they can hold. Meaning you're not liking it so far. Right?
So, the one that I'm specifically speaking about, which honestly, in terms of like what it looks like and what I feel like it can be, I
got a feeling we're about to disagree.
Gleipnir.
Wow.
Like, I just think like the delivery on this first episode was low key weak and whack. Like, Did you enjoy this? So
that's the episode I was just finishing up before we started. I'm intrigued as fuck. I do not like this chick character, dog.
I wholeheartedly agree though. Like, so look, I am super intrigued. Like, I want to know like where this is going to go next. But I honestly, I have to say this delivery in this first episode was weak. It felt like, hey, I'm this super above average student who is really good at everything, and I was going to get this like college recommendation.
Yeah, college recommendation.
I made myself seem regular so I can shine glasses for a living instead and let someone else get this recommendation. So
yeah,
I mean, like, I get that. That's kind of interesting for a main character who wants to seem less interesting, right? And he out of nowhere gets these powers. I'm assuming eventually we'll find out about it, but also like why does this lady want to know so much about monsters?
Young girl, actually.
Yeah, young girl. Why does young girl want to know so much about monsters? Who are these gatherers? I mean, it's just, I feel like there was a lot that they put into the episode, and they didn't give us like the steps. They just kind of was like, black out. So black out.
So the part of the main character and him talking about, you know, his vision just happens to get clearer randomly. He didn't know why. All the shit with him and him just wanting to be a regular fucking student. I appreciated that shit. I like that shit at first. And then as soon as he met the chick and saved her, that's when it went downhill for me.
That too. You're entirely right.
Because him being a normal student was cool. The fucking show is beautiful. It looks so good, dude. I
agree with that. And I love his transformation.
Yeah, his transformation, the 3D mixed with the 2D again, the particle effects. This screams like it's gonna have like almost Fire Force-esque quality of animation.
And what I do have to say, what I loved about it more than anything was the sound design. Yeah, because the music, like for instance, when he went after he saved the girl and they went upstairs. Yes, I loved like they even went into detail to like let you realize that he opened the door. You hear the door, like you hear the metal like creak open as he opened the door. I'm just like, yes, not even just that too. Plus the fucking soundtrack. Gave me shivers. The soundtrack was fire. I'm like, man, this shit. When that beat dropped, I was like, come on.
After he saved her and he was standing over her too, that whole scene was wonderful. The show looks great. It sounds absolutely wonderful. But watching it, for me, it was like a show of two halves. You got the half of him trying to be a normal student. The way it looked, I even like the main character so far. But then this fucking girl comes in. And she's literally a slut. And like she's threatening our guy with some shit, and I don't see where her character is even. What's the point of all of this and what she's doing? Like she tried to commit suicide, for fuck's sakes. Like, what is her purpose?
She was like selling out mine, so we really don't even know. But I will say, the reason that she made this beginning so choppy, and I agree with you because it kind of changed my perspective on it, is that she is the reason this episode is so choppy. Yeah. Because they made him so like reluctant and like iffy around her, right? Yep. And it was more or less not necessarily that he was so iffy. It was more or less that like she's saying, you want the world to find out about monsters? Like if you know, literally, if I was just like, I don't know what you're talking about, people would just be like, she's crazy.
Exactly. Fucking, yeah. Just let her throw the phone. Who cares? You got insurance, go get another one. Whatever the case is.
I'm just like, yo, you low-key tripping, bro. Like, it's not even that. Hold that phone, bro. Yeah. That's all I was thinking.
No, you're right. Yeah, so that part in the story kind of fucked it up for me, too. Because I'm like, dude, just who cares about the fucking cell phone? Like, so what your match 3 puzzle game you were playing, you ain't going to be able to play it no more. Get another phone. Just like, okay, so you ain't got to deal with her ass no more. You know what I'm saying? Like,
oh yeah, he was playing Puzzle Dragon, wasn't he?
Yeah, Puzzle Dragon or some shit like that. I'm like, yo, just chill, bro. Let it go. Let her go. This whole show could have been avoided.
We could have skipped the next episode by now.
Yeah. I mean, maybe this one is one that should have benefited from the 43-minute joints.
100%. And I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah, a little bit more fleshed out. But that, again, that music and sound design in this show, so great so far. Real great. Gleipnir, even the outro is real good.
Bro, like I said, the sound design I have no complaints about at all. The animation, no complaints either. It really, like I said, just that story in this beginning, when they introduced that girl, like you said, just became mad shaky. Mad shaky. Another one that I watched, this is one I actually have pretty high hopes for.
What's up?
Is BNA. It stands for Brand New Animal. And it's about a world, a society of like humans where like 10 years ago, the world found out that there's like humanoid animals in the world, you know, like lycanthropes, or like lions, wolves, minks, and tigers and stuff, just roaming the world, but they're posing as humans. And it starts off super clean, super dope. I will say I don't think you're gonna like the animation style.
Where's being
not even animation? It's on Netflix. Like I said, the first 6 episodes air already in March 21st. It doesn't officially air everywhere else until the 9th of April.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah. But there was a lot of really good things I liked about. The sound design was really good on this one. It's only subs right now, at least from what I saw. It might be dubbed, but it had great subbed voice acting. It felt like life was in it. And then really good attention to detail, because the animation style, the art style itself, is not a super high res, super in depth style, but they did things like our main character is a tanuki, which is like this raccoon looking animal, but it's like a mythical creature. But she put on her smartphone, and one of the first things I noticed on the smartphone is that like she has little claws, and her screen is scratched up like where her fingerprint button is, because it's scratched. And I'm just like, yo, that's a mad cool attention to detail thing. And all of a sudden she's blown off this bus and she's fighting humans for her life. So I think the show is actually going to be really good. I only watched the first 2 episodes. I haven't gotten to the other 4 yet. Okay. But it seems really cool. I like our main character, and I like our secondary main character as well. He has like this coolest perspective. Like he wants to help the Beastmen, and he wants to make sure that Beastmen don't betray Beastmen to be on the human side. Yeah, because humans in general are just treating the Beastmen like shit. It's another like racial like show where it's racially charged. Obviously, there's gonna be those stereotypes. Yeah, and it's really cool showing another perspective on that, but it's doing it in a more like, this person is super defensive of it, and our main character isn't. Like she's just like, I just want everyone to be happy.
Damn, I'm down to watch this. This looks dope. It looks super good.
Yeah, I think you'll like it. Like I said, I just don't know if you like the animation style, but I think once you see it animated though, because I was looking for things like if the frame rate dropped or anything like that, it seems super fresh.
It looks great.
Shout out to Philip J. Woodward for the explanation on frame rate. Yeah.
Basically explain the whole thing with Beastars in my eyes. That shit just was not sitting right. And
I can rock with you on that one, because I completely understand that.
Yeah. It looks good. I'm definitely down to watch it. Another thing that we obviously both watched and was super excited for was Tower of God. Oh my God, dude. That shit looks great too. It looks so good, man.
What did you think about it?
So I read this first, I guess you could say, episode. I read this for the most part. It's different, isn't it? Different.
It seemed like they zoomed past a whole lot.
No, okay, that's what I thought.
There was a lot of relationship building in like the first initial chapter of that webtoon, where we understood why he liked her so much and why they were like kind of together.
That's what I thought. Okay, because they just kind of like did a little glimpse of that, and then it was gone. Like,
and I think the reasoning for that is because the webtoons are generally so much longer than regular anime chapters. The series going on for so long, and in the webtoon there is so much development and character progression that if they were to do that, honestly, it would be,
the episodes had to be an hour long.
Yeah. And I also think that, like, I mean, realistically, I think with the art style, because it's not the best art style.
That shit looks fucking phenomenal to me.
I know. I think it looks good because they were staying true to the webtoon.
Yeah.
And the webtoon, in terms of art style, gets dramatically better too as the seasons go on. But I think that they could animate it weekly, just like Black Clover, and it'll have better animation.
100%. I love that hard marker look to it, to that hard ballpoint marker look. Just looks so good to me. It's so different and just unique. It's a real quiet show. Obviously, the music, again, this is another one where the music is fucking phenomenal. Like, they killed it.
I was surprised, bro.
Destroyed like any theme that came on, like, because the show is relatively quiet. It's not much dialogue. It's some dialogue in there, but it's not that much, and the music is just carrying it like on its back, and it's so fucking good.
I was honestly surprised. I'm also super hyped that like they let us see the 25th Bam, that's his name, Bam.
Yeah.
They let us see him kind of like go in and fight the like giant mana eel.
Yeah,
shit was hard.
Yeah.
And it was like I liked how it was more or less that they said like, and I guess they didn't really say it, but it's like he had to go into this preparing to die, basically. Mm-hmm. And he did that, even though like that shows like his devotion to her. The only thing I think that would have made this episode better is if they gave us a little bit more of that.
Right. That relationship.
Another show that would have benefited from that 45-minute intro.
100%. 100%. That this episode needed that big time, because it skipped a whole bunch of shit. I'm like, wait a minute. Am I sure I read this first fucking chapter? Because I know I read it. But I'm like, this feels like a completely different thing, because it was a snap of a finger, and it was just literally basically one cut scene of that shit. And it's
right.
like, wait a minute. Hold on. It was more to it than that.
They didn't even show him breaking through the ground so soon. You know, it was just but I think that how the story will progress will. Yeah,
you could tell, because what they're doing is they're intersecting it with each other. Like sometimes it'll flash back to, you know, to when they first met, and then they go back into present day, and it'll flash back again. So I got a feeling that's how they're gonna kind of play up that story during like the important parts. But I mean, I know you know what's gonna happen because you read it already.
It's been so long, bro. Like I promise you, I have very little idea as to like I know what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
But a lot of the reason, like I haven't read the whole thing, but I stopped reading after a certain point because I was like, I gotta let this build up so I can just binge the 400 chapters. There's a lot of chapters to this, bro.
Yeah.
Like there's a ton of chapters, and
season 3 just dropped, right?
Season 3 is like, if we talk about like, it's literally probably like 600 chapters of this.
Jesus Christ.
So there's plenty of stuff to work with here. I stopped at a certain point and I was just like, I need to wait, because you get so drawn into these characters in this show. Mm-hmm. And you get so drawn into Bam and his development and seeing where everything goes, that it's kind of like, if I didn't stop reading it, I would have been salty waiting every month.
Yeah.
And I can't do that. I'm not doing that. I'm not going to do that to myself.
Yeah.
I already cried waiting on Twin Star Exorcist.
That's funny. Yeah, man. I like it, though. I like the show a lot. Again, the music. Something about this season, the music seems to be, I don't know, right. B&A looks interesting. Glypnir, it has me intrigued. I'm not like going to sing its praises yet for sure, because again, this chick ruined the entire show for me, because I was okay with it at first. I'm like, yeah, I like this shit. It looks good. Rocking with it. I'm curious.
It's a little ecchi.
Yeah, well, I like the ecchi, but I don't even like. She's just fucking annoying. Like I don't want to see anything about her. I just want to take
the
her out.
backhand.
Yeah, take her out. Just get her out of here. Get my eraser and erase her from the fucking.
Get rid of her.
Yeah, please. She's awful. Hopefully, there's gonna be some character development with that. But man, what else you been watching?
Oh, like I said, I finished Toilet Bound Conical Coon.
Yes.
I want to wait on you, but one of the things I want to talk about.
I'll finish it next week.
I want to talk about with Toilet Bound Hanako Kun is that Square Enix is a producer for this show. They're not the actual like animators and whatnot, but it's one of the studios that they cooperate with.
Oh.
So I thought that was super cool. And I loved 100% the art style for this. Like, to me, the colors for this anime,
gorgeous, man.
To me, like, it's just the most, like, one of the most beautiful things I've seen. When things get intense, it doesn't feel like it loses anything out of it. It just feels intense, and like it might get brutal, but it's got these super vibrant, high pitched colors that are amazing. And I just, how far are you in?
5.
okay, I'm not going to drop any spoilers, but the show's just really good. The intro kind of gave a little bit of a spoiler that as soon as I saw the intro, I was like, that's an odd thing to show. And I realized immediately after seeing it, I was like, okay, that's what that is.
Yeah.
Or it was one of two things. But the show itself, in my opinion, when did it start? Did it start this spring?
Yep.
Did it start in like what, January?
Yep.
Better than ID Invaded, better than Inspector. The only thing Darwin's Game, in my opinion, has over this is the ending, because Darwin's Game ending was fire as fuck, and Darwin's Game beginning was actually better too.
Yeah, the beginning of this one was kind of slower. Yeah,
Darwin's Game beginning and ending was better, but I think in terms of overall consistency, this shit was this shit was amazing.
I can already tell just from the 5 episodes, this show was great. Like, it was already put on that pedestal for me as well. Just watching the start of it, I'm like, yeah, this shit is gonna be real good.
Yeah.
So
when I think that when you watch this, you'll see what I mean about the ending. Mm-hmm. But everything about the show was very consistent, very good. I very much so enjoyed it. Yeah, 100%.
I'm down to watch it. So, I mean, with that, shit, man. I guess we could take a break real quick. Yeah, we're going to take a quick break and we're going to come back. So this time, normally we talk about, My Hero as being our ending show that we discuss. But in the second half of the show, the full second half is going to be a full review of season 4 of My Hero, including the last episode with full spoilers. So if you haven't finished season 4 of My Hero, cut the podcast off now, watch it, then come back and enjoy the review using our official Mic Check Waifu review scale. We're going to review it and discuss that last episode. I can't wait for it. We got a nice tune set up for y'all. It's kind of fitting for this. Shout out to Tell for this recommendation. It's kind of fitting for this situation. We'll be right back. welcome back to episode 43 of Mic Check Waifu Waifu. Make sure you guys go to teespring.com/stores/Mic Check Waifu Waifu. We would appreciate any support you can give us over there. And copping the podcast merch. When you do cop some podcast merch, take a picture of it, tag us in it, at Mic Check Waifu on Twitter and at Mic Check Waifu Waifu on Instagram. We would appreciate that too. We'll share that with the world. So before we move on to our My Hero full review, we have to do our recommendations. Normally we do this before the break, but for some reason we keep slipping our minds. So it's my fault. Let's give our recommendations, and I'll go ahead and start. So my recommendation is going to be Real Girl. Now this show is super interesting because it starts off with this guy, this super reclusive, just gamer dude that all he cares about is 2D girls. Real girls is not good enough for him. And he runs into one of the most popular girls in the school, Iroha. And when he meets her, like, shit gets weird. Let's just say shit gets real weird. But she's extremely popular, real pretty girl. Everybody wants to date her. Girls hate her. Girls try to spread rumors that she's just sleeping with everybody. And, you know, shenanigans ensue. And basically, stuff happens and let's just say they develop a close bond with each other. And when you watch it, it got some moments in it that's just it's definitely a different art style than normal. It's kind of set up like a diary on the side of our main character, which is also dope. But you quickly go attached to him, and you start to like where it goes. It also has some sad points too. Not enough, not clannad sad, but some sad points as well. Real Girl is a good anime. Subbed and dubbed. You can find it on Verve.
So not only did Polow give us a great recommendation, my recommendation I actually feel like is pretty out there. It is called Sea Control, The Money and Soul of Possibility. Basically, it's an anime about our main character who kind of doesn't know what he's going to do in life, mad ordinary character, and kind of finds like this extra money. Realizes shortly after that this money that he finds is this not necessarily supernatural money, but it takes him to like this entirely different world. Like, think of it like Darwin's Game, but instead of being in the regular world, you go to like a 3D world. You're doing the same concept. You're fighting against other people to collect their money.
Oh, I did watch this. Yeah.
Yeah. And you use your money and your icon to summon like this being that helps you fight.
Yeah, show was good. Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah.
I forgot about
Actually, that's what I was saying. I watched this years ago, and super interesting, super cool concept. If you like action, really good action, really well animated for the time.
Gorgeous show.
Yeah, so I would say check it out, especially if you like animation and, you know, just overall kind of like world development story wise. Basically, it's about Japan went through a financial crisis, kind of like what the world's going through now. And they were saved by this kind of like otherworldly money. And this is now like you're seeing these people are fighting over this money. Really cool concept.
Yeah, what a great recommendation. Holy shit. I didn't realize what it was until you started describing it. I'm like, oh yeah, I remember this. I used to watch it on a site that shall not be named too, and it was just in its Japanese name, which is something different. So yeah, that's the only reason why I knew it. But yeah, hell yeah. Great recommendation. So now we're going to talk about My Hero in the season in its entirety. I think how should we do this? Should we talk about the last episode or go straight into the review and then go to the last episode?
The last episode was hype. Let's save that for last.
Okay. Smart. Good idea. All right. So let's review season 4 of My Hero Academia with the official Mic Check Waifu scale. Again, if you're new, we have a review scale that both me and Tell give our own personal ratings on 5 different categories. Those 5 categories are, Tell.
We have pacing, story, animation, sound design, and characters.
Yes. So those five. Yeah, go ahead.
We each love those things, obviously. So it depends on, how those things affect us. And then this is the mic check for waifu rating after we're finished. But go ahead, Polo.
Yeah, so we rate those on a 20-point scale, 1, 1.5, 2, 2.5, etc. We averaged each of our individual scores into one overall score, and that is the official score of the show that we're rating. Let's see, you got all the ratings pulled up for
I have all the ratings right now.
Okay, so list off what we got rated so far.
We have Demon Slayer 8.8, or actually, let's see. Yeah, Demon Slayer with an 8.8 was our first rating. Ash Lost in Space with a perfect 10. Promised Neverland 9.3. Erased at 8.75. Dr. Stone with 7.8. Vinland Saga 9.25. Fire Force 9.35. Clannad 9.8. Beastars 8.85. Darwin's Game 8.5. And next on the chopping block, My Hero Season 4.
My Hero Season 4. Okay. All right. Now, a little backstory into My Hero. The moment My Hero dropped, I watched it week to week. I was miserable because I watched it week to week. Shit was hard to watch week to week because I just wanted to know what was going to happen next. I enjoyed every last bit of it from seasons 1 through 3. Like, I enjoyed it all. It was great. It was just such an entertaining show. I'm definitely invested in the characters. Class 1A, that is, and All Might, and Eraser. Like, I just love the characters of the show. Yeah. When did you get into My Hero, Till?
So, I got into My Hero a little late, in my opinion. I think I got into it late. What got me into My Hero is I was literally going through the internet and I see All Might giving this black thing the hands. And I'm just like, hold up. It's a meme. It was something like when you stop to something be in your face. And it was like, Ultra! And he knocks a no move to next year. So that was kind of like what got me into. I was like, what the fuck is this anime? And I have to watch it because if anyone's getting hands like that, I need to see. So I picked it up and I ended up actually loving it. To me, in my opinion, it's a great anime. Oh, so great. I love the characters. And mostly right now this season, I love the character development. So kind of got into it a little late in comparison to everyone else. I got into it once the season was finished. But after that, I kind of took off and I've been reading the manga ever since. And oh my God, the manga is so good, bro. It's so fucking good. It's so good. It's so good.
So, yeah. All right. Well, let's do it. So season 4, to be honest, I don't fucking remember the beginning of it. I don't remember the end of it. I just remember, I do remember the end of it, obviously, but I don't remember like 1 through fucking 12, like barely remember 1 through 12. I just know the overall fight. I just know that shit was good.
The overall fight and everything after.
Yeah, exactly. And everything after that. Dude, I cannot remember 1 through 12. I just know the overall part.
The beginning, they kind of started off with they were doing their research about the hero, about the villains. And it took them like 3 episodes before they actually got in. Right. And then it took all that extra time to get to the overhaul stuff.
Yeah. And that's when he had to do his fucking shit with Night Eye
and fight. He had to throw hands with Night Eye. Night Eye had to, I guess, really break into the house at until episode 6 is when they actually started going into the house. Or it was like episode 5 or something like that. It took them a minute. And then it took a bunch of time before they actually even got to Shigaraki. Not Shigaraki. Overall.
Yeah.
Chizuki. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, fuck. You see, this is what I'm saying, okay? I love My Hero, bro, but this season is such a fucking... And guess what the funny part is every episode we recapped on this podcast, and I still can't fucking remember. Like, that's how... I'm not going to say bad, because this season wasn't bad. I like the season for what it's worth. But...
In the manga, this is my favorite season.
That's crazy to me. That baffles me because this shit was, oh, man. It doesn't even have a mad in front of the decent. It was just decent, bro. It was a strong. The end was fucking fire though, literally and figuratively.
Figuratively.
But this fucking season was so hard for me to watch and enjoy. But I enjoyed it. It's so weird. It's such a weird relationship with the season. It's frustrated me because I'm just letting you know, listeners, I'm letting y'all know that this is just my thoughts. Off the top of my head, I can't remember shit about it. I love the festival art. Drip Senior was the greatest. Fucking, that was wonderful.
So, what I wanted to say is the character development this season to me was the most superior character development that they had in so far. And the reason I'm saying that is because we saw Bakugo grow.
Yes.
Saw Todoroki grow.
That was late.
Yeah. It was later in the show, but it felt like from season 1 to season 3, we had character development. They grew, right? Like actual people. They became stronger. We didn't see character change. Like motivations and what they're going to do, what they're trying to do.
Yeah, drive, goals, dreams, etc.
Yes. And we saw that in all of our main characters this season, like how they're pushing. And even in the villains, we saw like them be developed as well. Right. There were some villains we didn't want developed. Like they could have held that. Tell me about it. But we liked that Chizuki developed. We liked that Drip Senior developed. We loved seeing Gentle develop. We loved La Brava. I mean, the very end.
Oh my God.
We loved Endeavor. And then we got introduced to some of the most fire heroes in Mirko, who broke the internet, Hawks, who everyone loves, Childish, what's his name, Gamzino?
I love it.
Yeah. I loved these. I loved like the characters this season. That's what drove the show outside of like.
So let's put this in perspective real quick. So let's say literally from episode, I don't know what, 14 on was when the season got good. Maybe even 16 on is when the season got real fucking good and you got that development. Because what episode was that Bakugo, the provisional license? Whatever that episode was, that's when the season started to push forward. Again, with the exception of the overhaul fight, that shit was great. Like that whole fight was phenomenal. But then everything else leading up to it was slow. And I don't care about the top 5 student. What's his fucking name? The guy that eats stuff in his body. His backstory was okay. It was forgettable. I forgot about it. But he was still a dope part, even though it was just too much of that shit that just destroyed the pacing of the show. And we're going to get into that when we start this review.
So Lemillion hit the scene at episode 11. And that's when I felt like was the first little bit of hype. And then they also pulled that they pulled that BS stunt where they showed us those pictures.
Yep. I don't even think that was it. I think
episode 12 is when Deku officially starts fighting Chizuki. And then episode 13 is when Deku goes all out at infinite 100%.
Okay.
So episode 13 is kind of like where it really started taking off. And after that, provisional license stuff.
Yes, the provisional license stuff is when the season gets great. Good. I'm going to just say good. That kind of gets a hint into what I'm going to review. Now, remember, listeners, this is just season 4. This is not My Hero as a whole because we love My Hero. I still love My Hero. This is just season 4. And I'm going to be honest with you 100% of the way. Let's start off with sound design. Sound design.
No. We can't rate it yet.
What?
We can't. Let's talk about the last episode first before we rate it.
Oh, I thought we was going to talk about it after.
You want to do that? Because I feel like if we need to talk about the episode.
You're right. Let's talk about the last episode.
Okay. All right. What did you think about the last episode? You thought it was fire, right?
100%. It was better than the overhaul fight. People was flipping out about the animation. I thought the animation was just kind of okay.
So,
like, it wasn't that good to me.
You thought the animation was okay?
Yeah, it was just okay.
Yeah. Now I do think they like really were nitpicky with the animation though, because that one part where Endeavor is like like that or whatever,
tucked and looking
literally you had to like slow it down.
No, yeah, that's ridiculous. That was super
in
nitpicky.
motion. You would have never seen it.
Yeah, no way.
It's not the same as Black Clover where you literally see in slow motion.
Yeah,
I'm trash.
Like you could see mouth flaps and shit off the face of people on Black Clover in multiple scenes. That's different. That little shit. No, that wasn't the problem at all.
Yeah, but
the direction was great.
Yeah, the overall like the choreography of how things happen.
Yep.
How they had several ups and downs where we thought, okay, this is about to be it. He's about to go off, and then we get another drop. We're like, holy shit, he's really not beating this Nomu.
Yeah.
So basically, how the show started off, they finished their talk in the building. We saw the Nomu pop up in the last episode. Then Endeavor's like, I gotta fight this guy. Endeavor goes to fight him. Exactly. Hawks goes and uses his feathers to save all the people, which I thought was really cool. Yeah, we saw that. Well, yeah, we saw that his feathers were strong enough to carry one individual person per feather, right? That's dope. And basically, we got everything else is the Endeavor fight. And we see Endeavor going hand to hand, face to face with this Nomu. We know Endeavor is like 6'8", super stocky Brock Lesnar looking dude. Throwing hands with this Nomu with regeneration abilities, power quirks, the ability to fly.
Yeah. Was this what you were talking about?
It was looking rough on.
Was this what you were talking about during the? You was like, they're not going to give us enough time. Close.
They gave a hint at what I was talking about, and that was at the users. The other users. That was the hint, was because like we saw that in season 2, where they show a hint of like the other users in the area. Yeah, I loved that because you have no idea what that really means. It's just like, is he gonna get a chance to talk to the other users? Is he gonna get a chance to like figure out how to actually use the quirk because they're there? Yeah. That in my mind was like, oh, that's so beautiful. That makes me hyped for next season. But it also makes me realize this can't be our anime to talk about week to week anymore, because it's just not. There's too many chances for it to let us down. Yeah. I don't think I think going forward, there's not going to be a slow point ever, though. Like ever. It's going to be straight hitting the iron.
I am not going to ever believe that ever again.
Hey, look, 100%. I agree with you, because I would have. How I remember this in the manga was from the beginning. It was straight.
Yeah, and it's just not even like there was slow points. It was just the wrong points in the wrong areas at the wrong times that just did. Because I didn't mind like the festival arc. I loved that shit. It was great.
Yo, that almost made me cry.
It was wonderful, bro. It touched me. Well, like it was good. That part was awesome. Like all the slice of life stuff they do it when they do it, like they did with the festival arc, is wonderful. When they do the fighting, like they did with the Endeavor fight, it's great. It's just everything in betweens that just don't work out. Like when they try to give, like, do you even
that backstory, the history
in the middle of a fucking fight, like the whole Red Riot thing? What the that whole thing was, and I'm talking about the Red Riot thing at the first 3 episodes. That shit was awful. Yeah. Like I didn't care about any of that. I'm so glad he learned that skill where he can harden himself up. But his development was probably the most lackluster of all the development that happened in this season, because there was a lot of character development, which is awesome. But that was so lackluster and pointless and a waste of my fucking life that it just wasn't, I don't know. It was annoying. Right, let's get to that again. But that Endeavor fight was fucking phenomenal, dude. It looked great. But like I said on Twitter, that shit really made me miss Fire Force, man. and Demon Slayer, because those shows are so beautiful, man.
Gorgeous shows.
They just do it so right, man. Especially Fire Force. I think I'm starting to feel like because every time I go back and look at a clip from Fire Force, I'm starting to think it almost looks better than Demon Slayer, until I realize, no, they got that cartoony, that comic book look in it.
There's moments in the Fire Force that rivals Demon Slayer for sure. But it's the moments. It's not the entire.
Exactly. All right, let's go. Let's do this. What we start off
All right, so you said you want to start off with sound design, right?
I do. I loved it, man. All the music was so good. The fight sounds were phenomenal. The festival music was great. And you know what made that festival music great? Is that it didn't seem like there was a Japanese artist singing it when you listen to it in Japanese. It seemed like it was a fluent speaking English person or an actual English person singing it. And it felt like real emotion. It felt like real fucking hype. I loved it,
It felt like whoever wrote this song for this moment specifically.
Yeah.
And that's the stuff you don't get in the manga that made this so fucking good, bro.
Oh my God, the music was so great. This
that shit
all
hit
season,
hard.
man. All season, the music. The way they changed up the what's it called? Run.
We say run.
You say run. The way they changed up You Say Run, they changed up You Say Run like 4 different times in this season, and it was fire every single time it came on.
The best of which being the song that we play, in my opinion, Might Plus You, which was sung by Michaela Phillips.
Is incredible. Wonderful, man. Just wonderful. All right, for sound design, I'm giving the sound design a 9. The only reason why I don't get a 10 is because I just wanted more. And by more, I mean the intro was awful. Like the intro for most of this season was terrible. I did not like the outro music either. But
a 9?
That's why it gets a 9. Though? Yeah, it gets a 9 because every other time the music came on, the You Say Runs, the Might Use, like all that shit, every time that shit came on was fire. It was fire. Okay. It was wonderful.
All right. Okay, bro.
What you give it?
So I just wanted to emphasize how much I loved Might Plus You. Mm-hmm. How much I thought the fight sounds, everything like that. Even Endeavor doing his flames, it sounded like flames, sound like explosions. It didn't sound as good as Shinra bouncing off the walls, but it was almost there.
It was close.
I gave sound design an 8 because the music, although the music was really good, I felt like there was points where they could have introduced it better.
You think so?
Yeah, I think there was points where like there wasn't music there, that there could have been music, and I think there was points where like the sound was nice, but it wasn't emphasized properly. Like for instance, a moment where I thought the sound was awesome was when like we got Deku swinging on Shigaraki or Chizuki and throwing all those punches, and you see all those punches pop up. They go to make all the whoosh sound, boom, 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 boom. Yeah. And then when they actually land, you hear like the flesh essentially exploding, like they pounded meat. Yeah. You know, like I loved that. The whole concept, everything about that was cool. But then there was other parts where I just felt like this sounded okay.
Yeah, the time.
So it's got an 8 for me.
Yeah, every time You Say Run came on was at the perfect moment. Like when fucking All Might was talking to Night Eye when he was.
But do they have another song?
Well, no, but it was a different tone. Like it was the placement of it, and you don't need another song when you got something like You Say Run.
I'm not disagreeing. I just know, like, so when I think of sound design, I think here's what I compare things to for sound design.
Yeah,
I compare it to either things like Fire Force,
can't be,
or shows like Parasite that has a full album and a track list.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Like,
I even think Gleipnir had more songs in it.
Yeah, Gleipnir had 4 songs in this one episode. But the thing is that like each song was fire.
Yeah,
and that's all I'm saying. It's not that like cause the music in this it was good. It was really, really good. Like it's like we love Might Plus You Say Run. We loved the festival song. There just could have been, I don't know, more. I wanted more. Like you said, I'm giving it an 8. Now, one of the other things I want to talk about was the animation. And I know this is going to sound ridiculous, but my favorite animated part was the festival, the music festival.
Yeah.
The dancing, they didn't look like little squares dancing in the background. They looked like fully drawn, fully animated people that were this big, but they were fully drawn and animated. And when you see Deku pulling a light ball, dude, and you see the sparkles fall off and just so many different things. You see Aries' face light up.
Oh my God, that was wonderful.
the animation to me was amazing and beautiful.
The camera direction to that scene was perfect.
All of it.
The way it moved through the crowd, and then when it moved through the crowd, it transitions to Aries' face, and she's like, she's all happy and shit. That shit almost brought a tear in my eye. Oh, I hit my Persona 5 mask. Sorry. I fixed her. She's good.
Shout out to Persona.
Persona 5, best JRPG. Anyway, animation was pretty good, and again, the overhaul Deku fight was pretty damn good. Again, when we talk animation, we talking like our scale ranks from fucking the Fate series, Demon Slayer, Fire Force type shit. And you know what I'm saying? Like it's kind of hard to top those, especially with My Hero, because it's hard because obviously.
I gave the animation an 8.5.
Yeah, I'm exactly there.
I couldn't put it in a 9. It wasn't good enough for a 9.
Nope.
You agree with the 8.5 as well?
100%. 100% agree with 8.5 because there was times where it just looks great, but there was times where it's just okay. It's just okay. I think it can even go lower, but 8.5 is.
Yeah, I was struggling with 8.5, but I think like an 8.5 is like the sweet spot, like where it is. And what's the next segment you want to do? You want to do? Let's do pacing. You want to start with pacing?
Yes, please. Awful. Just awful. This whole season's pacing was atrocious until the festival arc. It got better. The whole overhaul thing, they drug that shit out as long as they possibly could. And it was so intentional that they tried to drag it out as much as possible that it just left me wanting just different. I'm ready for this shit to end. I'm ready for it to go. These fucking episodes are just dragging way too long. The pacing was terrible to me, and I'm going to get hate for this. I know it, and I'm sorry, but I'm going to give it a 5.5. I did not like the pacing that fucking much. I did not, dude. I did not. This shit, it started, it had, okay, you know why I got 5.5? Because it had me to the point where I'm starting to think, I'm like, do I actually like My Hero? It had me say that to myself multiple times. Like, what the fuck is going on? Do I like this show? And then when the festival arc came in and after the overhaul shit came, I'm like, I do. I love this show. I still love this show. I'm sorry to go that low, and people were going to hate me for it, but and 5.5 isn't bad yet. I think when you get to 5 below, it's bad. This is just like below good, you know?
So, in my personal opinion, this is some of the worst pacing I've ever seen in anime.
Oh shit! You laughing at me talking about I'm wilding. You there too? This like so. The point that I want this season to end on, right? And obviously, this is from a manga reader standpoint. So really, I don't have any right to like say like where I think it should have ended at. But in my opinion, reading week to week, the end of the season should have been a better cliffhanger. I loved that we ended on Endeavor showing that he was number one. Yeah. But there was the way that they portrayed this in the manga was that Endeavor failed at showing why he was number one, or he was a symbol of peace. And it should have gone to another episode where we saw something from the students that gave you hope. But they ended this with, but I do think it was good though. It changed the entire tone of it. Because in the manga, like I said, this was a failure. Damn, I like that better.
The number one hero got his ass kicked by something that All Might sent flying out a window. Yeah. And All Might beat, All for One. Shit. So like if you compare this to those, even though he won, he failed. Because he reestablished the happiness amongst the people, but in the manga they didn't even show that. The people didn't cheer. They were saying he is hurt bad. His face is cut open. He had a serious face for his skin to come back and stuff like that. But like,
oh, I like that.
I don't want to dwell on that. The pacing, I agree with Polow almost entirely. was horrible. I gave it a 6 in terms of pacing.
Oh shit! And he ranked his before I ranked mine. That's funny.
It honestly was just very bad pacing.
Yeah.
When it was good, it was good.
Yeah.
But before that, in between, sometimes it was like, drop the ball. Just drop the ball.
Watch the video version to see what he dropped. Ooh, mystery.
Yeah. Right. Shouldn't have dropped it. But yeah, straight up, nah, hold that shit. That was bad.
Yeah, it was.
All right, I'm gonna go into a more positive thing in my opinion.
Yeah.
The characters.
Yeah.
I fucking love the characters,
man.
Though. I don't think there's so few characters in this season I actually disliked, except for the villains that they gave too much spotlight.
Yeah. The side villains and shit.
Yeah. To me, the characters are what carried this season.
Mm-hmm.
I actually, this is the highest rating I'm giving this show. Is for the characters. I loved Eri. I loved Chizuki. I loved the boss. I loved Lemillion. Yeah. I love Sir Night-Eye. Yeah. I love Deku, Bakugo, Todoroki. I loved Endeavor. I loved Hawks. To me, there was so much good stuff going on with the characters. Like, you realize I didn't even mention All Might because he had to take a back seat.
And it was still pretty good.
Yeah, he had to take a backseat, and there was so much development for everyone else. We saw All Might do his thing, but we got to see everyone else develop as characters and grow and become different. It wasn't just fighting that these characters developed, and it was in leadership. It was in morality. It was in what they want for the future. Things got so much better. It was so good in terms of character development. The only reason I'm giving it a 9.5 for character development is because I hate Mineta. He is the worst anything in this show. And then the villains that I didn't really care that much about. If they had made me care more about the villains, I care more about Big Lips in the beginning, the first seconds of the show, who got turned into mincemeat.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everything else, all the other villains outside of Chizuki, I didn't really care about. They didn't. And in the manga, sad to say, they developed those characters significantly better. Those characters actually meant something to you so much more, and it didn't matter. So
at first, thinking all the way up to about right before the festival arc, right? Right before the festival arc, I was sitting at about an 8, okay? Because I enjoyed Bakugo and Todoroki's and Deku's, and even Endeavor still had a little slight part in the during the provisional license. He had a little slight development, and it was just a conversation with All Might. It was just that conversation with All Might that was enough for me to see, oh my God, something.
And then look at his son.
Yep, something changed right there. It was at an 8, but then Gensel came through. Gensel brought it up to a 9 for me.
You're right.
Yeah, because he was.
Are you giving it a 9?
Yeah, I'm giving it a 9. It was at an 8. Gensel came through and brought it up a whole point basis just for me, because Gensel and Bravo was wonderful, man. And I wish we could get more of them. I want to have more of them, just because I love him as a person, and I love LaBrava as a support character.
She's an amazing support character, by the way.
Amazing. I loved it. Yeah, definitely a 9 for everything you said.
Wow, Polo. I'm surprised. So the final thing is story. And this is your rating here. What do you want to rate the story?
Yes. It's kind of hard not to lump the story and the pacing in the same area. Because the storytelling was so slow because of the fucking pacing. But I did lacked
because of that.
Yeah, definitely lacked because of that. But I did enjoy the motives. I did enjoy them bringing into the students into what Chizuki was doing, and they're like, yo, we need you, students, because even though you guys are absolutely not ready for this, we still need you because we don't have an All Might anymore. I love that whole piece in it. Yeah, you know what? The story wasn't that bad when you like kind of boil it down. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna give it an 8 though. I'm gonna give it an 8. I'm not gonna go as high as an 8 though. It definitely don't deserve it any more than that. And again, the story of the overhaul arc was wonderful. Like the reasons behind it, his plans was fucking diabolical. I just wish we kind of got more of the League of Villains aspect of it too. But yeah, an 8, definitely an 8. Because after that, it wasn't much else to it, other than just the development of the characters. Like, it wasn't much story after the overhaul arc.
I am very surprised with this.
You think that's high?
I mean, I ain't say that at all.
It's kind of high, but just I love Overhaul's motivations, man.
Overhaul.
That story was good.
Overhaul is my favorite villain in My Hero, and I mean, is he still my favorite villain? Yeah, he's really still like my favorite villain. But I just, like I said, the story for this is like my favorite story for My Hero until you get to this next part, right?
Okay, help me understand though, real quick, before you go into more detail. What was the story? You had the overhaul thing, and that was pretty much.
So it was a continuation of like Hero Killer Stain and seeing the perspective of the villains, right? Why heroes aren't really heroes? Why the criminals are feeling oppressed, even though they're not necessarily all criminals or don't necessarily all want criminal means.
It wasn't that much of that though. Yeah,
and that's what I'm saying. In the manga, there was a lot more emphasis, and that's why for me, I'm rating the story a 7.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
I'm rating the story a 7 because although it was good, it wasn't like there was more to be told. There was more to be done. You could have dropped out, like I said, like we keep saying, could have dropped out some of that backstory of the villains if you weren't going to make us care about the villains. Could have dropped that backstory out and given us more like about the motivations of the villains.
Yeah.
Outside of their personal motivations. I want more on like Chizuki and more like how he was affected and make me care for him more. Make me care about why his mob boss was affected more. Yeah. Why the police are oppressing them or why they feel oppressed, because you see they're not really messing with the mafia. Right. They're not telling them, hey, you can't do mafia stuff. They're telling them you can be the mafia, just don't do harmful stuff.
Right. They gave more bullshit backstory to the villains, like to the non-essential villains, than they did Eri. Like that, I didn't understand that whole process. Like, if you gave again, I love Eri to death. Like, she's wonderful. But it wasn't like they gave her a half of an episode, maybe, when you put it all together, of what she actually went through. But it was so much more than that when you think about it. Like, and there's so much more they could have told with that, opposed to these other villains that we just don't.
We could have saw her getting ripped from her parents. We know that she basically reversed her parents into nothingness.
Yes.
But you could have shown us like that experience.
Yep.
Are you how it traumatized it's not child friendly? Yeah. Like there's so much you could have shown us. Or did she even know that what she did? You know.
Yep.
What's going on with that? Well, so Polow's official ranking for season 4 of My Hero Academia is an 8 even.
What?
Yeah. And my official ranking for My Hero Academia is a 7.8.
What? It's still so high.
Yeah.
The song.
And as a collective, Mic Check Waifu has rated My Hero Academia season 4 a 7.9 out of 10, putting it not in last, but above Dr. Stone by 0.1.
What? Is it above Dr. Stone? I think. Okay, so let's talk about this for a second. Was this season of My Hero better than Dr. Stone?
I think it had moments that were better than Dr. Stone. I think it had moments where the character development seemed more impactful than what Dr. Stone was.
That's true.
I think that they shared a lot of the same faults. And what you mentioned in Dr. Stone a lot was that they put the backstory in the wrong places.
Ugh, awful places.
I felt like you felt that more in this.
Yep.
But it had, I think, more impactful moments in general.
100%. Okay, yeah, it is. Yeah, because again, People love Dr. Stone. People could tell me up and down all day, everywhere, how much they love Dr. Stone. But bro, that shit just was so average after when they got into the village. It was so basic. It was so just okay after that. Like the concept was still there. Like it's definitely still has the potential. But it just turned into an invention of the week, aka monster of the week.
Right.
And it wasn't even any like what's the word? Stakes.
True.
It was no stakes in Dr. Stone for me. So next season may be a different story.
Well, I haven't read the manga, have you?
No, fuck no. But I mean, they're going to war. It's the war. So
oh, that's true. That's true.
You know, that's going to be a whole different story. Hopefully, I mean, it's definitely going to be stakes because you got killers on that other side. So, yeah, this ain't Dr. Stone. This is My Hero. Yeah, I mean, not bad, though. What you thinking?
You
think it's kind of high?
Yeah. I don't think it was bad because I don't think it's the worst thing I've watched. I just think, like I said, the pacing was some of the worst pacing I've seen in anime. Yeah. Like I think Hamtaro had better pacing.
Holy shit. But you love Hamtaro, so that's not.
I do love Hamtaro. Hamtaro was that shit. But it didn't have a storyline. It was like just you go out and you be a fucking hamster for a day. Yeah, literally. It had no pacing. You just wake up and you a hamster. That's it.
You live that hamster life.
This right here is supposed to have pacing. There's an end goal. They was not getting to it.
You kill me with that. The crowd wasn't cheering in the manga thing like that. That would have, like him being as injured as he was, and what you said they did in the manga, that would have been a better ending.
And the thing is that it has so much dread that it almost felt like. So there's a couple of things that I felt like the manga did better, right? So, and I'm only sharing this because the manga did it. In the manga, they made a reference to like why why Endeavor was like trying to burn so hot, right? And why he wanted Todoroki to do so well. He wanted Todoroki to have the ice quirk and the fire quirk because he could use Endeavor's strongest move, which is obviously the prominence burn. But Endeavor's supposed to have one that's above that, right? Mm-hmm. That goes even hotter, and the fire turns blue. And Todoroki is supposed to be able to cool himself down while creating that blue flame. Well, ultimately Endeavor can't do that.
Yeah, ultimately making him the ultimate version of Endeavor.
Exactly.
Because Endeavor was overheating even during the fight, which they only said that once.
Yeah, and they didn't talk about how like Endeavor was talking about he was about to pass out from his own flames, that kind of stuff. They didn't really elaborate into that. And what happened is that what he was supposed to do, he's supposed to do the prominence burn in the manga. And in the manga, they alluded to him burning so hot that it turned blue. They didn't show that. Wow. And that was part of the beauty of it being, the prominence burn, is that it was supposed to be something that the world had never seen before. But they also saw their number one hero, who was just instated as number one, fall to the ground and not show the world that they had a symbol of peace, that the symbol of peace is gone. And that's the inner monologue that he had, that he wasn't the symbol of peace, but he's going to be his own symbol. And that's what, Endeavor has said, I'm not the symbol of peace and I can't be that, but I will be my own symbol. I'll show you something different. And that should have been the motivation, was that like, he's not the symbol of peace. He is something different. Yeah. But what they kind of did is that they gave us this symbol of peace idea from him doing that. And it was like, you didn't even fight half of what All for One fought, or One for All fought. Yeah. You didn't fight half of that. You fought imitation. Yep. They don't even know how many quirks All for One had. They don't know how much he had. They just know that One for All was able to put it into it. All Might was able to put it into it. And wow. That was the difference. And that's what made me like kind of look at this as like, that's a little bit of a disappointment. Because
that's huge. That would have been huge.
It would have been. It would have changed the entire tone of it. It would have still, I think it would have been a better ending and probably would have resulted in a better rating of it. But it would have been something that felt like, wow, like where do they go from this? Right. Where do they go? It would have emphasized, like how the little kids were saying, the adults don't think that there's a future. they think that all the villains are going to take over. It would have emphasized that, giving us a little bit more to worry about in season 5.
It would have brought it all together better too.
I'm not a storyboarder. I just work for Mic Check Waifu.
That shit was wonderful. Man, damn, I should have been reading the manga, dude. Fuck.
I mean, nah, you don't have to read the manga. I think the next part, there's just so many good things that can come and that they should have ended on that they didn't, and that's just all. There was a bomb ass cliffhanger they should have did, and they should have done it because of the movie. The movie fell, the movie dropped, and they had this cliffhanger that they should have dropped because the movie was out, and that's what made me think that they was gonna drop this cliffhanger, and they didn't. They didn't. But it's cool because it's gonna start there basically in season 5, which when we don't even know when season 5 gets here.
So you saw the movie, right?
No, not yet.
Okay, me either. I'm about to say, because where is the movie though? Like, where does it supposed to take place after all this has already happened, and then you go into the movie?
See, the movie happens after some events in season 5.
Oh shit! So it happens. Oh fuck! Damn.
Well, it either happens like right now after this ends, or right after, like in the between season 5, because there's a specific thing they say in the movie that people told me that I knew already from reading the manga, that I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense that he said that, but why would they say that and they haven't announced it?
Yeah, it's hitting the streaming platforms so
yeah,
I'm sure we'll be able to catch it on soon. I don't want to watch it if it takes place. Oh shit! Sorry, I don't want to watch it if it takes place during season 5 though.
Yeah, I mean, I think after you get like, we don't know when season 5 is going to release, but I think after you get like 4 or 5 episodes in the season 5, if they do it, I guess the right way, that it'll be worth it. But we don't know when season 5 is going to drop. I would say watch the movie when it releases though, but I don't know. Cool,
man. All right, you want to hit us with that recap?
Yeah, we need to find out what our week's gonna be.
True.
All right, My Hero. We rated that wonderful show a 7.9. We also talked about why you should read God Punch, because we're gonna talk about it next week.
Yes.
We gave our recommendations. Polow gave us Real Girl. I gave us Sea Control, The Money of Soul and Possibility. Also, I talked about Brand New Animal, or BNA, how it has some great attention to detail, might be a really good show. We also talked about Polow's choice of Gleipnir, how, has some great things in there, but also could be hit or miss with, old girl being mad weird. We also started Tower of God, and how it has some great elements in it.
Yeah.
Strays a little bit from the manhwa or webtoon, but it's really good. And then Polow also talked about his newfound love for One Piece.
I forgot about that part. Yeah. Oh man, I'm at Polow Bornfly on all social media,
and I am at King Taliano on all social media.
You can follow our social medias at Mic Check Waifu on Twitter and at Mic Check Waifu on Instagram. And as always, Mic check. Mic check 1 2 1 2.
My sweet waifu.
Is that you?